This shit.
All right,
Because
Thunder.
I'm trying to figure out
We was having a private.
what
Hold on,
country exists that has.
hold on, Truce. Let me just set up the show. Let me just set the show. So we only 12 seconds in. Hey, we was having a private conversation that we are giving y'all the privilege to hear. Shout to TMI Carnivorous Podcast. We're having a private conversation about do countries have the right to exist. I'm gonna start with my brother Truist. Thunder, shout to Corey and Chef. Y'all go.
Right, I wanna ask the panel this question.
No. Then let Thunder start because Thunder was saying something. Yeah, let Thunder start. Yeah, let Thunder start. Go ahead.
So the for anybody who didn't know, I just maybe 5 minutes ago, but Chef was being questioned about his take. Chef clarified that he believes that countries have a right to exist, but certain people don't. You don't agree with that. So he's saying he was saying
No,
that
that's what Chef said.
the Jew, yes, he did. The Jews have a right to exist, yes, but do the Jews deserve their own country? No. Do the Kurds have the right to exist? Yes, but do the Kurds deserve their own country? No. That is 100% what he said. Okay, now
that's what he said. Yes.
Okay, so
yeah, that's exactly what he said. That's exactly
but the original statement what he made was wrong.
No. We're gonna go off this one though. We built up to that.
No,
we don't. They don't get the privilege of hearing the first hour. They get this part. If they want to hear the first hour, they can join the Discord with their stupid ass.
Yeah, but what Sheffrin said, what countries don't have a right to exist, but people do. That's what he said. Countries don't have a right, but people do. Continue now, Thunder.
So now, I think me and Stu P's on the same page. Maybe not. So I don't believe any country deserves to exist. I don't believe any people deserve to exist. I believe that you can earn the right to exist. That's what I believe. So I guess my
people.
The purpose of it would be deserve versus earn. So
you don't believe that people have the right to exist?
Hey, Stu P's.
There's no way I can.
Hey, listen. I'm all right. I'm going to inflect.
All right, thank you. All right.
You got everybody got 3 minutes to get your thought off, and if somebody else is talking, if you can't mute yourself, I'm gonna mute you. Just let him finish talking, and then you can go next. Y'all humble each other out.
So as far as
3 minutes is hella long.
It ain't gonna be.
I was gonna say Haskell 3 minutes. Jesus Christ!
Okay, wait. Okay.
90 seconds.
How long? Wait. 90 seconds. Go. Well, hold on. But this is the original argument for the show. This is gonna take a little longer. Keep your responses to what Thunder about to say to 90 seconds, but he's setting the premise of his idea. It's the show.
Okay, so he got it. Okay, good. 3 minutes, Thunder. 3 minutes.
A little free. 3 minutes, though, Thunder. Yeah, I agree.
So we have deserve versus earn. In my opinion, I think that's the true argument. Deserve versus earn. I think you earn the right to exist by being able to stop people from making you cease to exist. In other words, I believe in, everybody knows me. I'm a gun carrying, law-abiding citizen, right? So I don't need anybody to give me any right to exist. I'm going to earn it. I'm going to demand it. Ain't nothing you can do to stop me unless you have a gun to make me cease to exist. So in other words, when you're looking at Palestine, I think that was a point of contention, and them not existing at this current moment. They don't exist because they could not stop Israel from stopping them from existing. The same thing with Iran. Iran can't stop America or Israel from making them stop to exist if they want to. If America wanted to make them not exist, there's nothing Iran could do about it. So when you hear the terminology, I think it was coined by President Reagan, strength, peace through strength. That's pretty much that's pretty much what all that is built on. You try to get to a peaceful resolution, but you need to be able to use strength to do so. I want to live in peace with you, but I'm also willing to carry at least 2 12 gauges just in case you try to stop me from my peace. So Palestine did not build an army. Iran's army, navy, air force was trash. I mean, it's non-existent at this point. They have nothing but missiles and drones at this point. So do they deserve the right to exist? No, because they didn't earn the right to exist. So if somebody were to go over, if you were to go in there, wipe them out and do their thing, they will have got what they deserve because they had the opportunity to build the Air Force, Navy, and the missile defense to stop America from doing what it's doing, but it failed to do so. So they earned this. Yeah, y'all ever heard that? You earned this ass whooping. They earned this ass whooping because they did not fail to stop it. Okay, I'm done.
All right, bring it home.
Oh,
Okay,
me
good.
next. 90 seconds starting now.
Go.
Me next, 90 seconds starting now. Let's go back. 1492, 1687. Did black people have the right to exist? The civil rights movement, did black people have the right to exist? They didn't have power in America. So they should have been wiped out, right? The Jews, 1945, did they have the right to exist? We went to World War to protect the incursion of a Germany into other states and the secondary movement to wipe out the Jews. People have a right to exist. And anybody with morals would understand that people should always exist. We should appreciate people with different belief systems, with different thinking than us. Countries, states don't have a right to exist. If not, you wouldn't have the Americas. You wouldn't have Brazil, you wouldn't have China. Because countries' borders move throughout times. The Ottoman Empire, the Alexander the Great, his empire, the British Empire. Right? If countries don't have a right to exist, we have empires. But that's another argument. Right? But people should always be celebrated and appreciated, not because you're weak. Are you saying that the weakest among us should be eradicated, that people don't have a right to exist? No, you created monsters there. And that is why I cannot agree with what you're saying, that people don't have a right to exist. It's who carry the bigger stick. If when elephants go to war, it's a ground that fake. If everybody needs to carry a bigger and bigger gun, how soon before everybody annihilate everybody else? We always must appreciate people having a right to exist and live. It starts in the American Constitution and it leaves it in the pursuit of happiness. But people always have a right to exist. Somebody else, 90 seconds now.
Somebody pick up the baton and go.
Yeah, I got it. All right. So first I'm going to say I agree with Chef. Israel does not deserve to exist in a capacity where it's going to be going down and killing a bunch of Palestinians in order for it to exist, right? I do think the state of Israel does deserve to exist and be forced by the nations that should be regulating them, such as the US and England and whatnot, to treat anybody that lives within their nation as equal class status and not in an apartheid state. So I think they should exist, but there should be sanctions placed on them the same way we place sanctions on other nations to do the right thing with the people within their nations. I also believe Palestine deserves the right to exist and have statehood and be internationally recognized as a state and nation, and that the people of Palestine should be seen as nationals of that nation as well. I believe in a two-state solution. Now, my question is, for all the people that are saying nations and countries don't have the right to exist, again, don't you guys understand that nationhood helps further protect nationals of said nation? And if you're saying nations don't deserve to exist, are you saying Palestine doesn't deserve to exist as a nation? Palestine should never be able to achieve nationhood internationally. Is that what you're saying? And also, are you saying that borders shouldn't exist? Borders don't exist internationally. Borders, we could just forget about them because these borders and these nations that have these borders shouldn't exist in the first place. This is where we're going with the conversation. And then lastly, I'm going to just say this. When it comes to the idea of, like I said, I don't agree with Israel existing by impeding on other people for it to exist. But I challenge anyone on the panel to name the nation that exists without it compromising some kind of people, whether it was the indigenous people that originally lived in that nation or the surrounding people in the areas, or extracting resources from other places across the Atlantic or Pacific to build up their nation with exploitive labor and mineral resourcing and all of that. So that, I'm done. I land my plane there.
Go ahead, anybody. Jump in. We dropping bombs for silence at this point. That's why I didn't really want to push the button.
All right. This is what I'm saying. Oh, go ahead. My apologies.
I'll be quick. Then you can do a good job. What I'll say is, if you're a cancer to the planet, stealing resources and killing people, I don't care who you are, you should not exist. I don't care how many bombs you have, you should not exist. Let's just erase you. That's it.
Who is that? Who are you referring to?
Any superpower that's abusing the world right now.
And as far as the nations go, I'll chime in. I really don't. It's kind of a question that I don't know that I would normally even ask, but since the question is on the floor, I will kind of chime in on it. So again, I agree with. I agree with a few of the statements that have been made, the partial statements that have been made. As far as nationhood goes, or nations existing, that toothpaste is out of the tube already, right? So far, but we'll say is, in order to build a nation, there is going to be some degree of exploitation. And I'm a humanist first, right? So I believe in human beings being able to travel. I think the earth belongs to everybody. I think the earth belongs to the animals, the plants, and the human beings, right? I think that we as a species, right, should be smart enough to be able to share the planet, right? Most of the land most of the lands or continents that we live on, the vast majority of those of that square footage is not even occupied, right? So I think it's room enough for us to be able to be a cohesive species, right? Now, not that we're gonna live in this utopia where don't nobody get hit in the mouth or slapped across the face, right? Or shot in the knee, right? I'm not gonna never expect that not to happen, right? But as far as nations go, right, I think the only way you can have a nation is by exploiting some group or groups of people. And you know, like I said, being a humanist first, I think we should be able to. Now, as far as these different sects, like, you know, should Jewish people exist? Should Muslim people exist? Right? I think everybody got the right to, you know, join whatever group it is they want to join, right? But when that group begins to impede on other human beings' existence, or when those groups start to damage the environment to where not only can plants and animals can't thrive, but not human beings can't even thrive, right? When we start to violate the environment that way, when we start to impede on people's rights to, pursue happiness in the way they feel that pursuit should be, right? I think those groups should be outlawed or regulated in some type of way. I think we should have a humanist group, some type of secular humanist group that regulates those things, right? Because we see the damage that, although we can point out a lot of good things about Christianity, I could go on and on about Christianity and my grandmother's church and this and that and the other, and some Jewish guy could tell me all of the good things about Judaism, right? But those ideas begin to impede on other people's existence. And I think there should be some type of secular humanist group, an environmental group, right, that does impact research, right, in a scientific way to regulate those impediments. But I'll land there.
No, I think from what everybody said, everybody could acknowledge that there are some shortcomings when it comes to people, putting together nations, right? Like there's gonna be some oppression that happens. It's just like a natural part of it happening. So like the question still kind of remains, do you agree with this a bit of oppression so that people can have nations? Is it like beneficial enough for like humans as a whole? Like answer the question as a humanitarian. Is it beneficial enough for humans as a whole for us to experience the oppression of having nations?
No, it's counterproductive. It's counterproductive because what it does is it sets up another group, right? So now we Americans and y'all Iraqis, you know what I mean? And when the main thing is we just humans. You know what I'm saying? Like I never volunteered. Like I didn't come in this world, I'm a victim of circumstances is why I'm an American. You know what I'm saying? And so
absolutely, you ain't picked none of that.
No, and then now there's some type of beef that I'm born into. You know what I'm saying? When we could just all just be humans. Like I said, most of the planet, most of the continents that we inhabit, right? The vast majority of the land ain't even occupied. So like all of this, greed is a bunch of greed and imperialism is how you build nations. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's very dangerous to try to do, it sounds amazing. But in practice, I think it would be very dangerous if there was no borders, no countries, and we just left humans to our own devices. I think we would be in a constant state of chaos and anarchy. So while I don't 100% agree morally, in practice, I think I'm glad that borders are created in that way, because it would just be anarchy. It would just be a bunch of
people need structure. Like you gotta put a fence around them, whether you like.
So this is what I'm saying. You gotta listen to what I'm saying though. Like I think humans is smart enough to have some type of central regulation system, right? Where we regulate, we understand how to regulate one another, right? It's laws and it wouldn't be lawless because because we all live on planet Earth and this is just planet Earth, right? Doesn't mean we would be lawless or we wouldn't have laws to abide by. You know what I'm saying? I think we're smart enough to get together as human beings, whether we Chinese, Indian, and all of that, right? We can have a central governing secular body, right, that understands and that way we more impactful in the things we do, right? So we wouldn't have just one nation putting in environmental protections. It'll be a global thing, right? It wouldn't be just one nation having the freedoms and different things that humans need to thrive with one another. You know what I'm saying?
Corey, we've seen
But let
people
me ask you,
try
hold on,
to
wait,
do
wait,
that.
wait. I'm in the, hold on. I don't got much time, Truist. And then you could jump in right after this. Because actually somebody going to take over the call.
Okay, so somebody can get like 2 goals or something, but because I went twice.
No, okay, so but to your point, and then also we could forget the 90-second shit because ain't nobody talking anyway. So everybody just to your point about the lawlessness. Now Corey, this is where I'm gonna say this word y'all can't stand. This is the utopic mindset that I be talking about.
Yeah, globalism.
Because you're also the same person, Corey. What happens when you start telling Christians? Because you're not removing religions, you're not removing cultural practices from just these humans with this set of law. So what happens when we start when someone says, I want to stone this nigga or cut his fucking hand off for stealing my shit, and that's ordained by my culture over time. And then one of us says, well, he can go to jail, he can have a proper trial, and this, that, and the other. And that motherfucker says no. That, like, then you start talking about religions. It's the reason why I'm saying I'm glad it kind of is the way that it is right now is because and then this is funny. That's what I'm saying. It's funny you say this because you know how powerful religion is. Religion alone would cause the law. I would say that would be 50% of the fucking lawlessness with the Islam versus Christian versus Muslim versus this versus that versus Jewish versus Zionist, bro. It would be lawless. Now I know we seem like what we going through is crazy, but imagine no borders, no laws in individual countries. Just one law that's supposed to govern everybody on the planet. Man,
Have you ever
we would need G.I. Joe.
I believe we smart enough to do it. I believe in human beings.
I think people are smart enough.
Corey, when we see like small examples of, and I'm not
goddamn quiet. And you two goddamn quiet too.
Hey, Corey, if we were smart enough to do it, then we would have did it without them nations anyway.
Can I say something?
Without them nations.
Because we still got like
no, but we're doing it. No, but we're doing it now. Let me tell you why we're doing it now. There's a term that been referred to from the 5th century, from the 10th century, the term Christendom. When I use the term Christendom, what does it refer to? It refers to Christian states. You might think that there's a separation between church and state, especially in the West, but there isn't really. The West has always been bounded by their religious belief. We live in Christendom. America is a Christendom state. Canada is Christian. The whole of the West is Christendom. Europe is Christendom. It affects our laws and our belief system. So when somebody says borders don't matter when it comes to Christendom, when it comes to the faith and how the faith is sent and the belief system is spread, borders don't matter. So when people say that they can't envision themselves living in a state without border, but we live in a borderless religion that controls the thinking of our state. And even now, the war that we're having with Iran is for one of the pillars that it's built on is belief system. So it's the Christians fighting against the Muslims, just like they did in the 10th century, right? Borders don't mean shit, especially now.
What if it was a secular regulation system that could come in and be like, yo, you niggas is tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Corey, with that secular regulation system, right? Being kind of globalist in practice. We already see when we see, like, I'm not saying these are the best examples of it, but when we see certain nations try to practice that a little bit by placing sanctions on other nations that they feel are violating human rights, you know what we hear a lot of times? Oh, they're trying to police the world. Here they go again, trying to police the world. So I'm saying,
Well, that's because the world need policing.
well, do you? I'm saying, are you one of those people that feel the world needs policing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need a secular
No, no, no.
research team.
I
So
don't know.
this is how you do it. It's simple. You have
Call
a
them and tell them
secular
let's do it.
research team that does impact research, right? They do impact research on in every different department. You got religion, you got environmental, you got economic, you got healthcare, you got all of the sciences, the you know what I'm saying? All of these experts, right? A global conglomerate of experts in each domain, right? And they do impact. Their whole job is to do impact research. Then you have an enforcing group, right? To enforce those data points, right? Because you really wouldn't have some type of an opinion point like how Congress works today, right? We would have experts. The Congress would be more interpreting the data, experts that can interpret this data and break this down so that we can understand this, right? And then we would have a group of legal people who can place that into law, right? Into legalese. That way we have a guide, a base guideline to go by. But as far as that impact research, we can all determine demonstrably, right? Who's the violator here? You know what I'm saying? And how can we come to an agreement as far as ending this conflict? Or you know what I'm
But
saying?
they got that in place. It's supposed to be the UN, but you got one
Yeah.
hegemon who pretty much just bullies
But it's
everything.
not global enough. I
No,
don't think
yeah,
it's enough.
America don't believe in it.
Yeah, you
That's
have
what
you have
that
a
is.
state. You have a state that happens to to have a great deal of
Yeah,
power.
so
in the world.
we wouldn't have it. Wouldn't even be.
It's
See, that's
called
the point. We
sovereignty.
wouldn't have America and China and all, and then we all a part of this one group. No, this is just
Sovereignty.
planet Earth and human beings.
Mm.
You see
We
what I'm
have
saying?
That
Y'all
sounds
gotta take them
good.
labels
But
off now. You know what I'm saying?
that sounds good, but putting it in
sovereignty.
practice is another thing because you're always going to have certain states that have more power than others. You know what I mean? And it's just a matter if those states
I
choose
don't
to
know
abuse
why
it.
You'll
Is
never
it-
be able
is
to
it-
control
the
how them other
resources
states
wouldn't
use
be
that
that
power either.
no state. So the
Y'all need to go
resources
back to
in a
97.
state wouldn't be
Y'all
its
need to go
own.
back to 97. Y'all talking over each other.
Oh, my bad. It's
Yeah,
probably
y'all
me.
gotta go back to
Yeah, I
97.
wanted to, I
It's
wanted to
usually
talk
me though,
about
Chef.
I wanted to talk about the crazy nihilist nonsense that I heard the first person who initiated the conversation say. This idea of this might equals right on overdrive,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
there is no morality, there is there is no ethics, there is no right and wrong. It's just a matter of if you happen to have more power than the next person at a particular time, that's what dictates whether you get to live or die. What I would like to ask that moron is, would that apply within civilized
Mhm.
society? Right? So if I happen upon an older woman who can't defend herself, do I get to take what I want? Because, well, hey, she should have been able to defend herself.
Yeah.
Now, people don't like me using these examples, but they're used for a reason, right? We use extreme examples to highlight to dummies who don't think why their ideas are stupid, right? So if I happen upon a
Well,
5-year-old child,
in a more
But it
professional way,
fits
it's
too.
called a reductio ad absurdum, Haskell. We don't
yeah,
want to.
if I
But
happen
that's
upon or
actually
someone,
what the world will come to if they doesn't have nations, right? Because there's no other bodies to like protect that old lady, right? It's just
So as
it's
of
either
right
she
now,
got a
No,
good
no,
neighbor
no,
next
no.
door,
Right now.
but she can't call the
as of
police if they don't have no nation.
yeah, hold on, y'all.
Let
Hold
him
on, y'all.
finish his thought.
As of right now, I'm talking about internal, right? When you bring it to international law is kind of just a macrocosm of how a state deals with its politics and its laws internally, right? So what I'm trying to show that person is his idea is basically might equals right, right? So if you happen to have the superior technology or the superior numbers, because let's say if you're a tiny state like a Jamaica, for example, you only have 2.5 million people, and there's a state that has 300 million people. Hey, well, they just get to just kick you around. You know, you should have been more powerful, right? So
Yeah.
I'm trying to show that person is okay. Let's take your logic and apply it within a country, right? So if some 60-year-old man happens upon a 10-year-old child that he finds attractive, and he happens to have the power, hey, she should have had some parents or somebody protecting her.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
so I just get to take what I want, right?
Yeah.
It's ironic that the same people running around terrorizing the world, that's just how they happen to relate to children and the elderly. The same
Yeah.
attitude, the same depraved mindset. And that's why I take breaks from this place, because I just, everybody's entitled to their opinion, right? But there's got to be some sort of threshold when a person just says depraved, sick things. Like,
Hey, but no, I want to ask a question though.
Hold on,
When
wait. Thunder's
okay,
not.
go
Thunder
ahead.
not here. You talking about Thunder? If you come back, he respond. Crazy depraved things, Haskell. In this particular Discord, in our conversations, I don't think we want to set that as the benchmark for whether we want to have conversations. Because most of the
I'm definitely living in a glass house. I can tell you that.
most of the crazy, depraved shit is the reason why we push the button to try to get to the same shit. So I prefer, I prefer this particular thing of say what it is you got to say, and then we can get to that point.
There's people who said some objectionable things, but a person openly advocate for genocide, I've yet to see or hear that.
I have, and he's not here to defend himself. But when we were talking about, I hate to bring this back up, but when we were talking about Ibrahim Traore, I distinctly remember one of the distinguished members of this Discord saying, when we were talking about, but what about the kids, saying, fuck them kids.
Killing babies. Killing babies. They gonna grow up to be.
Believe, but we've gotten to a better place with that brother. and he was able to explain his point. People get mad and say shit, you know what I mean? But it ain't their actual point.
Yeah.
Like there was a guy in here that said the Tuskegee Airmen was lacking, right? We started off at that point, but we didn't end there, right? No, I'm saying we didn't end there. It started off. That would be inflammable.
That's usually how the conversation goes.
Right, and then we got to an understanding. So then that's usually how we do it. Yeah, that's how we do it. So
you jump out there and then you reel it back a little bit.
In his fighting style. That's a Discord fighting style.
Hey, but I wanted to ask, did y'all see, and this goes to kind of everything that's been said here, you know, kind of what Braz was just saying, and kind of what we've been talking about as far as people and nations having the right to exist. But I was, you know, I'm subscribed to Apple News, so I get these little fucking news feeds, you know what I mean? And I shared it in here, and these fucking Israeli soldiers had tortured a 4-year-old to get his dad to confess.
Burn him leg with cigarettes.
Yeah, what I want to say to that is Y'all, do y'all understand? This is what the uncomfortable. This is what I be saying about the whole religious thing, right? Because we trying to respect their beliefs, right? But those beliefs tend to impede on everybody else's well-being, right? And you know, like y'all understand that this war and the things that they doing to those Palestinians, you know, y'all understand that 90% of the Jewish are the citizens in Israel, right? These Jewish folk, right? 90% of them approve. They have 90% of approval over there. So what I'm saying is, like, we can talk about anti-Semitism and all of this shit, right? But what they doing and what them people and what the religion allows the people to be comfortable with,
I mean,
some wild shit.
It's written into the religion, though. It's literally
Yeah.
it's written in the Talmud that if you're not one of the chosen people, you're essentially a roach. Like, you're nothing. Like, that's in their religious text.
And they believe
Right.
it. And they believe it. They believe that if you're not a Jew, you're a slave. You're less than a slave. And you can be treated anyway.
I mean, that's their ethos.
Right. That's
You
what
know,
they
when
live by.
And
No, it's not.
and again,
Yes, it is.
again, the fact that you know, we funding that, it makes me very uncomfortable. And the whole, oh, if we criticize Israel, you're being anti-Semitic if you criticize the state, right? When what the state doing. But now I'm looking at it a different way. Like, I'm criticizing the population, the citizens, right? First of all, those soldiers are Israeli citizens, right? They are Jewish, right? And the majority of the population in Israel is Jewish. So
95.
95% of the population in Israel is Jewish. So what I'm saying is, right, we gotta be able to say what it is. We can't be allowing, you know, because they essentially doing worse, or they doing the same thing that Hitler done to their ancestors.
Yeah, the exact same thing. Look, they're invading South Lebanon right now. Their intention is to basically take over the entire Middle East. They want to expand Israel. That's what they want to do. Like, they're doing the same thing that they claim that Hitler was doing in Europe. Exact
And
same.
they using Judaism as a shield. You know what I'm saying?
I mentioned it earlier, Greater Israel. But many persons in here don't even understand the concept of what is Greater Israel. And the majority of Israelis in Israel believe in the concept of Greater Israel. That the land that was promised
they believe in Zionism. All of, you know, majority of them believe in Zionism. So, you know, I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying about a secular something. There needs to be some type of international regulation on this shit.
There's never been
to be able to bring some data points that say, yo, we don't give a damn about either of y'all guys. What we saying is, these are the fucking data points.
Listen, it
and
exists.
this shit gotta stop.
It already.
There's never been a protest in Israel against what they're doing to the Palestinians. The Israelis there's never been a protest in Israel where somebody put up a sign and said, listen, even Christians in Israel, Israel has a Christian population in the land. And even them has been moved from their houses. And a Christian going to the wall, many Christians who have gone to the wall have been spat on by Israeli. They see us less than. They have no problem spitting on white Westerners.
I'm eating right now, but I want to
There
respond.
has been protests in Israel
Where-
by
You
Jews.
guys are making a lot of false. Y'all making a lot of false
You're
statements.
just saying
Show me that
shit.
protest. Show me that protest.
That's
But-
not even
show me that
real, bro.
protest.
But you don't know. You just saying some shit.
I know there have been. There
I'm
have been.
looking at the fucking protest right
All
now.
right, look at it. Same like when the Venezuelans
You
were
just saying
celebrating.
shit.
You come
Like,
with the same like when the Venezuelans
no,
were.
but I don't know. But
Same like the
I'm saying-
Venezuelans were
but
celebrating.
please,
Remember
please,
when
my
they came
point-
to that?
I
Remember
know
when they
you
came
out
with
of
that?
control. Please don't get out of
We
No,
gotta
no,
let
under
each other.
control.
We
Don't
gotta
get out
let
of
each
Talk,
other
talk,
get it out.
talk.
You gotta
So
humble out.
what I'm saying, Stu Peas, is what I'm saying. There's enough. It's the same. I have a rule when it comes to these conversations. You don't gotta follow it. It's just a good rule, though.
Yeah.
They do enough shit and have done enough shit that is proven and verifiable that we really don't ever have to bring up the shit that's speculatory. Like if you don't know that they've never done protests, cool, but they've done enough shit on the other side that we could talk about that you don't gotta make up some shit that just ain't true.
Can I talk now? Because this is the dude who brought. Oh, look at the Venezuelan. Look how they're celebrating. This is the dude
They
who
were
brings in more.
celebrating. It was on
Who bring in
camera.
more? Who bring in
It
more
was on
speculating?
camera. It was
All right.
on
Not
camera.
because you see less than 0.001% of the people celebrating. If you're saying that
I don't know.
no,
I don't
let me
even know
say
what
this.
that means.
Let me say
I
this.
say if I
you
hold on,
select-
stop.
if you-
If
No,
I
no, no,
say
no,
that
no.
Venezuelans were celebrating in Venezuela about his
Mhm.
capture, I'm just making a statement. I don't need the
Oh.
entire. If you think that I'm trying to extrapolate that the entire Venezuela is glad we snatched their president out of bed, that's on you, bro. But I'm
No,
not
but that's what
saying
you
that. I'm
implied.
just saying
That's what you
they're
implied.
celebrating
No,
at the
that's what you
Capitol.
implied. That's what you implied. You
No,
implied
well,
all the
stop
time.
talking about when.
No,
stop-
let him
stop
bury
talking
himself. Let him
fine.
bury himself. I got
Let me
Yeah,
some.
well, go ahead.
Let me
All
bury
right,
myself.
go ahead,
Let me bury
I got
myself.
some.
Less than 1% of the Israeli. I'm not. When I say all, there's never 100%. But when we look at those 1% that comes and says, "I don't agree with this," and then we say, "Oh, these people have." No, if you have less than 25%, it's bullshit to me.
Nah,
less than
you
25%,
said there was
it's
no
bullshit.
protest in Israel. You said there was no
1%
protest
is
in
no
Israel.
protest. 1% is
Yes,
no
you
protest.
did.
We'll bring the
You
1%.
said there was no
bring-
protest in Israel. That's what you said.
Bring the 200 Israeli that is protesting and say,
Okay, so you're moving the goalpost. Just acknowledge you're moving the goalpost. Acknowledge you're moving the goalpost.
Sodom and
Acknowledge that.
Gomorrah. All right. Job and his family was in Sodom, and Sodom was still destroyed. We found one family. So because you find in one or two little small groups, you're going to say, let's save this land. When God didn't even have his own rule. God
Multiple
said,
protests.
God
There's
said,
been multiple.
God said,
There's been
find me
multiple. There's
10
been
families.
multiple.
And you
There's
can't
been
find them.
multiple protests in Israel. You made a claim that there was none. You said there was none. I had to stop eating to correct that.
Put the YouTube video up. Let's look at the numbers. Put the YouTube video up and look at the numbers.
Yeah. Are you going to backpedal from your original statement? Yes or no?
No.
Okay,
because
so just stand on being wrong. That's all. You said there was none. You said there was none. You said definitively there was no protest in Israel against their actions in Gaza. That's what you said.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm using God.
I'm
using the same Old Testament rule that God used to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. One family can't save a town. One family can't save a city. So if you come with one family or one small protest in an attempt to save the city, you're going against what God did, because God never said. When Lot and his family, that was the only family that they could find. God said, no, one family can't save a city. That little small protest that you're showing don't change the hearts and minds of the people generally. So show me the video now. Show me that mass protest that they had with people walking in the street in Israel. Show me the protest. I ask me now if I'm going to use God rule, the same rules that God used for Lot and for Sodom and Gomorrah, if that's Israel. No, hell it don't. Don't come with bullshit to me.
Okay, how large does a protest have to be for you? Thousands, hundreds of thousands? How large you want? I got you, bro. How big it gotta be for you?
At least 10,000.
At least 10,000? I got you, Obi.
With a population of 9 million.
I got you.
Yeah.
10,000. Got you.
We're using God rules here. The same rule God used for Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot couldn't save him. Lot and his family and his daughters couldn't save Sodom. Where the hell is my wallet?
Well, he looks for the protest. Can I just say one thing, Stoopies?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I mostly agree with you, bro. And Haskell, what he said. But what I'll say is they do have some protests, but that is not, it's not the majority of the society. Society does believe everything you said.
You guys are moving the goalposts. I only responded because he said there was none. I only responded because he said it was none. I agree majority isn't protesting. Duh. Obviously. But he said there was none. Now he's saying there was none. That was 10,000.
But you don't have to cut me off. Let me say my piece. Is that okay, bro? All I was trying to say is, just look at the law they passed recently. That probably has to go through another stage, but they passed a law that allows them to execute Palestinians. They think they can claim anyone is doing. Yeah, you saw that, right? I just posted it right now in the chat. But they
yes, and they celebrated for the hanging of Palestinians.
The same way the same way Truist just cut you off, Sonic, though, is the same way Stu P's just cut you off. So keep that same energy.
I was about done. I was about done. That's all I said.
So finish, Sonic. Come on, Stu. We trying to all cuss each other out, not just you and everybody else.
No, I agree with Sonic.
Whenever they done, share my screen, please. Whenever they done.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm done. Huh? There you go. I was just trying to continue that.
Hey, I'm looking into that death penalty thing. When did that pass? Was that today or yesterday?
Yesterday.
Truist, where you at? Are you at the top? Okay.
Sonic, when did that pass?
Routers is hold up.
I think like yesterday, a couple of days ago or something. I'd have to look it up.
I'm gonna look it up. I appreciate that.
No problem, bro.
You wasn't sharing Truist no more.
Yeah, give me a sec, because Routers wanted me to sign in. So give me a sec.
Just look in the back chat. I got
Reuters, bro.
Look at the chat.
I love Reuters though. That's
when y'all share y'all screen when we live, can y'all put it in the back chat so I can show the people? That's the only way I can show the people. Because if I go to your screen, they won't be able to hear it.
I put 2 in the back chat that you can share and show Brass.
Oh, you did?
Okay, why y'all getting that?
Hey, they ran Thunder off Kyle for the first time ever, bro. They ran Thunder out of here. And it was quick, bro. He tried to make a point, and he was gone, bro. Haskell said his name. Thunder put on his motherfucking New Balances and all that.
I think he just getting his bearings. I think he gonna be back. I think he just
man said, not today, Jesus. Not today.
He gotta tighten his argument up. That's all. He gonna tighten it up and then.
That's a hell of an argument to try to tighten it up.
Pro imperialism. That's crazy.
I don't know. Hey, Thunder would be the greatest orator in history if he could somehow tighten that argument up and get that shit. that was a hell of a. That nigga said, if you ain't got a gun, you don't deserve to exist. I'd love for somebody else that believe. I know there's other people that believe it. I just don't think there's other people that will say it. So I gotta at least appreciate Thunder for that.
Hey, but I wanted to say
before y'all read Kyle's source, I just want to.
I'm not reading the source. I just got it on the screen while you talking, so that they know that we're showing protests. So to get an idea. But go ahead.
I'm gonna read the Routers thing because I have to sign in for it. But I will share what Kyle put, but this is what Router says. All right. April 13th, 2024, Tel Aviv, about 45,000 by one TV estimate, 100,000 claimed by organizers. Routers reported tens of thousands rallying against the government, with some protesters specifically demanding Netanyahu end the ongoing war in Gaza. The Times of Israel, citing Channel 13, said the previous week's Tel Aviv protests drew about 45,000, while the organizers claimed 100,000. So this is well above the 10,000 threshold that you set.
That's full stop.
Okay,
You won.
That's
Back
full
down.
stop.
You won. Stupies acknowledge that you won. You found 100,000, 45,000, and 10,000. Thank you. You won.
Yeah, but that's one. I have about five others.
We know that. We know that that's propaganda because there's no pictures. There's no pictures. No.
Hey,
It came from
but true
there's
is,
no
I
pictures.
bet you can't
There's
find
no
one that
pictures.
says 1 million protests. That's when that's
No.
according to
No.
God. Come on.
No.
Let's do
I'm
the
not
gospel
asking.
one time. Come on.
Wait, what'd you say,
No,
Kyle?
I'm-
What'd you say, Kyle?
No. I'm
I
asking for a million.
propose that we move the goalposts one more time and try
No,
to
I'm
get
not-
to find
no,
1
I'm not-
million people
no.
protesting.
Okay, then
No,
if that's
I'm not
the case,
asking to move it.
I propose that we move the goalposts and Netanyahu was
Are there
actually
pictures
in
of
the
the
middle
protest,
of it while it was
These
going
niggas
on.
Zionists, yo.
Is it- it's true.
There's no pictures.
They
Is it
Zionists.
pictures of-
There's no
Is it
pictures.
pictures
There's
of
no
video?
pictures and no videos. No pictures and no videos.
report?
No pictures and no videos. Trust me on that. No pictures and no videos.
I mean, don't
Hey,
be
but
so.
then it's gonna be are the pictures in 4K? Is it 10?
No.
No,
Nah, where's
hey,
True at,
in
though?
this YouTube video, in this YouTube video, Kyle posted at 3:10. This is
Okay.
mass protests in Israel against Netanyahu's Gaza City occupation. I think those are Israelis. I could be wrong,
They are
Well, there you go.
Israelis.
but I think
They
that
got-
those are Israelis in that video, which would also constitute a picture.
Hey,
Yo,
hey,
I'm
I'm
about
about
to
to start a flame war.
I
All
was
those
about to tell,
hundreds of
George.
wait. All of those hundreds of thousands of Israelis that's protesting against their government's actions. Guess what? They wasn't getting mowed down in the street by their government like certain other countries do to their fucking protesters. Did the Israeli
Yeah,
government start
I'm not
fighting?
about-
Did the Israeli government start?
That was gonna
Did the
sit- that
Israeli
wasn't gonna
government?
sit
Did
right
the
there.
Israeli
Yeah.
government start running down the Israelis that was
Wait.
protesting?
Are you saying that PBS News, that picture? Are you saying to me, because I've been to
They're saying
political
it's a
rallies
video,
in my
though.
life? No. I'm looking at a picture first. The picture that's no near that picture is nowhere near even 5,000 people. That picture with
Actually,
that
because
picture.
they got
Let's look
arrested.
at the video. No. Let's look at the video now. Let's look. Where's the
Where's the
video? Where's the
video? Y'all
video?
put the
Kyle?
video.
Was
Kyle,
Hold on,
Kyle,
two
where's the
Hold
video?
on, two P's. Y'all put the video in
Yeah.
the chat.
Where's the video? Because that picture is
It's
not even.
below that. The video is below that.
The video is below the picture. HTTP. Let's look at the video. Let's look at the video.
It says mass protests in Israel against
Yeah,
Netanyahu's
the
Gaza
videos in the
City
back chat. Yeah, the
occupation.
videos in the back chat.
And it's in this chat. It's chat right
Listen.
here.
Listen. Let me stop talking, because anybody who look at that video and say that is 100,000 people or that is 40,000 people, it's the same people who look at Trump inauguration and tell me that it was bigger than Obama's. That is not nowhere near. That is nowhere near 100,000. That is nowhere near 10,000 people. I've been to political rallies with 10,000 people. I know what 10,000 people look like.
Stu.
No. Stop the foolishness. No.
I need you to
No.
fall on your sword, bro.
No, I'm not falling on my sword for this. No. Because guess what? Brass.
Wait, let him gaslight you.
What would be the point? What would be the point of lying about the slides?
Hold on. Hold on.
Trying to make you melt down.
Brass.
Hey, Stu.
Brass.
Wait. Wait a second.
No. Let me ask Brass a
Stop talking
question.
to these
Before
niggas
you
trying
ask
to make
me
you
a
melt
question,
down.
let me just say something to you.
They trying to
Before you
make
ask
you
me
melt
a
down.
question. We started off at none. Now
I
wait.
asked.
Hold on,
I asked you 10,000. I asked you
Come
10,000.
on, stupid. Don't crash out, bro. It's unbecoming.
I'm not crashing out. I'm not
Okay.
crashing out.
All right, so listen, we started off at show
None.
me one. Then you said there
Mhm.
was none. Then we told you there were. Then we went to Reuters, independent source, to show you that it was. Numbers that they said. Then you said, but there's no picture or video. We showed you a picture and a video. I don't care about the
No,
200
because
million. Hold on,
no,
Stu.
because
Stu,
no,
please,
stop it, Brass,
No, just hold
I know
on.
what you're saying, Brass. Let me ask you a
No,
question.
you don't know
Trump,
what I'm saying.
no, I want to know if your
I
perspective
know,
was Trump
but just get off
inauguration
the
bigger than
original
Obama.
point.
No.
There are
Let me ask you a
none. That's
question.
all I'm asking.
Let's
Get
get
off
off
the
that.
original point that there are none.
Let me ask you a question now. Can I ask you a question?
God,
Was
no,
Trump
answer your question.
No. Let me ask you my question. Was Trump inauguration? You
Answer
found
my
one.
question
Yes, you found one or two. I answer that question.
No,
Now
I didn't
answer
say
my
one or
question.
two. You just said there were none.
Oh, I said, oh, yes, you found protests. Okay, answer
go
my
ahead.
question.
What's your question?
Yeah. Was Trump inauguration bigger than Obama's?
Nobody's inauguration was bigger than Obama's.
All right, that means you know numbers.
Okay, wait, Stu Pease, I got you. Wait. Watch this. Hey, Stu Pease, ask me the question.
Yeah, this shit was so big, you had to have it in multiple states.
Wait, Stu Pease, ask me the question. Ask me the question now.
Which question? Was Trump inauguration bigger than Obama?
No. Now, let me ask you a question. Did Reuters report that Trump's inauguration was bigger than Obama's?
I don't know. I didn't research it.
Exactly. So you're dead. Dead.
I didn't research it.
Reuters never made any claim that Trump's inauguration was bigger than Obama's. So you're dead. You gotta delegitimize Reuters.
No.
I need you to attack the integrity of Reuters.
Let me ask the question.
The integrity of Reuters.
Because did Reuters speak? Did Reuters compare the inauguration? And
you gotta stop arguing with these niggas, Joe.
Yeah, that's not. I'm finished.
No, they didn't put you off your point.
Hey, by the way,
they took you off your point with that wild ass shit.
Yeah. There was no need to even go down this rabbit hole. The basic point hold on, real quick, Brass. The basic point holds true is that the vast majority of that society co-signs the state's actions. There's no need to go off into the weeds with the number. Hold on, True. Hold on, True. I want to ask you a question too. The whole mowing down of the Iranian protesters.
Yeah.
What's his source on that?
Reuters.
Put that in the chat for me, please.
I got you. And while I go get that, my point wasn't to try to prove that that's the position of most Israelis. My point is, for people that like to call everything propaganda, I think it's working against your own arguments when you start spreading propaganda like there's no protests going against the government. That's propaganda. What Stu Pease originally said was propaganda. And I think as people that are supposed to be anti-propaganda, it hurts your cause to be spreading. I'm gonna go get what you're asking.
Propaganda is. Yeah, that's not how that's proper. No, it's not. Propaganda is when you're purposely trying to deceive people when you know the information
That's
isn't
exactly
correct.
what he was doing.
No, that's not what he did. What he did was he went out on a limb without necessarily having the information first. That's a very different thing than saying that, hey, there's 10 people here when you know there's only 2. That's propaganda. Saying, hey, there were no Now, if he knew for a fact that there were protests in Israel and he was saying that, then it would be propaganda. What he did was he went off half-cocked, pause, as they would say. Is meaning that you're just, you without doing the research first, you're pretty much just making an assumption and you're running with it. That's not propaganda. That's a different thing. Propaganda is a material misrepresentation of facts.
No problem.
Or intentional.
I'm gonna go get what you're asking for. I'll mute it up. Y'all can talk.
Yeah. Shit, y'all go ahead, man. Where everybody at?
These niggas Zionists, yo. They understood CB's point. They can't any way possible to defend fucking Israel. It's sick.
Though, what is Americans? It's crazy how this how you know niggas be fanned out, right? But how about men? Because this is what this is about. They're fanned out about a man, an orange-colored man, right? And his cohorts. Because since when, I've read the Constitution a couple of times, right? It's supposed to protect against enemies, foreign and domestic. Since when did Americans have this fealty or this fidelity for foreign states and fighting their wars? And you got niggas on a Discord fighting to prove that Israel needs to be defended, right? They're willing to send their nephews and cousins and sons to go fight for Israel. Crazy. This is how you know niggas, and you right, Chef, like, that's why I don't even really to come around that much. Like, I'm not about to sit up here and argue with a nigga about whether we should be over there fighting for Israel. Like, you's a crazy nigga. I don't even need to talk to you. And then getting off
who made that argument up here?
You're doing it. You're
How?
fighting for Israel.
How?
All of
Because
that-
I cleared up a
Iranians-
lie? Wait a second.
Iranians
Because
are-
I cleared up a lie?
Yes.
So because I
yes,
cleared up a lie,
yes,
I'm fighting
yes,
for
you're
Israel? Guess what?
advocating
Guess
for-
what?
You're
If
advocating
clearing
for
up lies,
Israel.
if clearing up lies is fighting
You're
for Israel,
advocating for
maybe I'm in the
Israel.
wrong space.
Like
Because
if a nigga was lying about some shit some irrelevant people did, I would not give a fuck. Because it doesn't impact me in any sort of way, right? Or it's inconsequential. So the fact that you're going out of your way to dispel these lies is because you are advocating for the position that Israel, you're advocating for Israel. That's the reason why you're going through these lenses to dispel these lies. That's what you're doing. If that's what you're doing, fine. But to say that.
it's ridiculous. It's
You're
absolutely
fighting for
ridiculous.
Israel,
It's absolutely ridiculous.
all of
You
that.
can hear
You can hear
the beginning statement.
people down in the streets.
Wait.
And the other day you were bringing up the women.
So true, you've been here this
the
whole
women in
time, and you've been
Iran. You were
advocating for
saying,
Israel?
oh, the women. Yes, he's an advocate for Israel. Oh, the women in Iran, they're getting abused. So, perhaps even if that's not the United States' intention to go over there and stop that, perhaps tangentially it will be a benefit to those women, even though that's not what the U.S. motives are. You're advocating for the hegemonic actions of the United States in that instance, right?
Absolutely.
Likewise, you dispelling all these.
You got to straw man my
dispelling.
position to have any leg to stand on. But I understand that's what you have to do because
Did
you
you-
can't
did
deal
you
with my
find-
points directly.
Did you find the
You
link?
can't deal with my points directly. I'm
Mhm.
getting. I have it. I have to sign it again.
So
Give me a
what's
sec.
your point in pointing out that there are people in Israel who protest Zionism and
My
greater
point
Israel?
was, I
What's your
was fucking.
ultimate point?
Wait, hold on. You're asking me and then you're telling me. Let me answer. My point is I was sitting in my car eating my Dunkin' Donuts, and I hear you niggas up here talking about Israel and the Israeli people at large, right, being in support of the Israeli government's actions, which I agree with. Everything you were saying up until I heard Stu Peas come out his mouth and say that no one in Israel is protesting the actions of the government. I was cool with everything y'all said up until that point. That's why I had to come off mute and say, wait a fucking second. What you're saying is a lie. And I'm going to stop eating right now to dispel the lie.
Good, you did a good
Because we don't
job.
have to fucking lie.
But
We
you
don't have to
overshot-
lie. Wait
you
a second.
overshot
Wait a
the
second.
mark,
Wait a second. We don't have to lie to criticize Israel. And that was Brass's point. That you hurt your own argument when you lie about what's happening and the reality of the situation. It's a lot
why
easier
did
to
you
just talk about the
overshoot?
fact.
But why overshoot the mark though? Because you didn't stop there. You then went on to add that, oh well, the state of Israel didn't mow down their protesters like the Iranians did.
Yeah.
What was that about?
That was about going back to what Corey was saying would we have to police the world and have a humanitarian standard that we set on these crazy religious motherfuckers? Because I sat here and heard y'all for an hour talk about how fucking crazy Judaism is, which I fucking agree with. I've had massive rants on here and other platforms about how crazy the Talmud and the Bible and the Torah is. But in that religious rant, none of that was pointed to fucking Shia Islam or Sunni Islam or Islam in fucking general. So I'm saying make sure that we also recognize that shit. I'm not saying anything you guys said was wrong in regard to Judaism and the Talmud. You guys were right. That's why I didn't interrupt you. As y'all were saying all that, I didn't interrupt you. But we were having a conversation about policing the world with human rights and humanitarian sanctions. And I'm saying that is an example of how a nation was killing its nationals because they spoke out against the government. And that is absolutely a humanitarian crisis.
But you juxtapose that with how the Israelis dealt with their protesters. That's meant to convey a point. True. Can you be honest about that?
The point is, we understand the Israeli government is terrible for what they're doing, and you guys already spelt that fucking out.
But they're not as terrible as the Iranians. They're even worse. Is that the point?
No. The point is, despite the things that the Iranian government isn't doing that the Israeli government is doing, there are things the Iranian government is doing that the Israeli government isn't even doing. I'm saying both have terrible actions that I can say, well, this government's doing this and this one's not doing that. And this one's doing this and that one's doing.
What's the tally currently of genocided Gazans? I think the last time I looked, it was like over 1 million. Am I right on that? Or is that somewhere around there? 1.5 million?
Yeah, it's got to be in the millions.
Now, I mean, I guess I don't want to play the numbers in. That's kind of macabre.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. But I'm gonna share my screen right now to give you what you was looking for.
Yeah, but I mean, if we lining up sin for sin, I think the Iranians are kind of bringing up the rear.
But Corey's point earlier about having a secular keyword on secular. Secular means criticizing Judaism, criticizing Christianity, criticizing Islam, criticizing all of these religious states that use and justify their state-sponsored killing of whether it's their own nationals or people that are not their nationals, and justifying that shit due to their religion. And when you guys were talking about that in regards to Judaism, I was quiet because I had nothing to fucking interject on that shit about. But when Stoopies had to start lying to make that point, of course I had to interject and correct that shit. Because we don't got to lie about what the Israeli government's doing or what the Israeli people are doing to charge them with crimes against humanity. We could just talk about what they actually have done. But you have your idea of what my argument is in your head, so you can stay with that. You can stay with that. I'm like, what? Go ahead.
Yeah, because there's sure some good white folks there. There's sure some good white folks over in Israel who protested, and I can find some good white folks and show you Stoopies. It don't matter if there's a minority of the population, but these are some good white folks. These are the abolitionists of Israel. And look at that crowd. That's 100,000 people right there, Stoopies. Rhoda said there's 100,000. They found 100,000 good white Jews in Jerusalem. Okay, I may have exaggerated the numbers because when compared to the general population, when we look at the number that is protesting, it is far less than 1% of the population who verbally voice atrocity which comes on the news every night. What they see every night, the starving of the Palestinian people, especially in Gaza. There's less than 1% of the population protesting. Right? I would hope that if that should ever happen to us, that the white people in America come out in more numbers than those Jews in Israel. But you're right, you did find it. You did find the numbers, and you did satisfy your assumption, and you did prove me wrong when I said all, right? Because we know what all means in this community. But 1% of the population, we're asking less of them than what what God did ask the angel to save Sodom. If you feel that if God was saving Sodom today, and you could only find that number in a city of 9 million, if that city was saved, I will go with you. I will go with you. Because this small protest saying that 100,000 people, if you go online and look at the scattering, and how they set the angles, and how they set the cameras, and the numbers that they're saying, and you believe that Reuters that always said that 20,000 Iranians were killed in protests. I have a problem with Reuters numbers, but you can run with it if you choose, right? I take those numbers with a grain of salt. But you find less than 1% of people, less than 0.1% of people protesting what they're doing. Well, we know that the majority, when poll asked, the majority agrees with what they're doing with the Palestinians. The vast majority agree. The vast majority don't have a problem going into the Gaza Strip, and the vast majority don't have no problem going into what that other section name? Not the Gaza Strip, occupied territories. Not the Gaza,
West Bank.
other piece, the West Bank. They have no problem going into the West Bank and pushing out the Palestinians out of the West Bank. They have absolutely no problem. So that same face, less than 1% will coming out to protest. Right? Because if I have $1 and I give you a penny, I can almost say I still have $1. If I have $100 and I give you $1, I can walk around and say I have $100. And more people agree with me. If I have $1,000 and I give you $1 and I have $999 walking around with, somebody said, "Oh, Smith, Larry, you have $1,000." And I said, "No, I have $999." I said, "Oh, shut up. You have $1,000." Then you find out 0.01%. And you're saying to me, "Oh, those are some good, righteous people. They're not like the Iranians who gunned down their population."
The hell is you talking about?
No. Him show one protest. I think him saying that we're wrong. Them people that don't give a flying F.
Yeah.
They would turn Gaza to the ground.
It's too. So roughly, you would agree that there could be a shift over time. I would agree with you about 90% of issue with it. So that's not neither here nor there. But right now, even when they started the war about they had like 85% support. But right now, they have about 60, 70 want a deal to end the war. Right? So it changes over time. But when we have these protest conversations, I don't think small protests have done mighty things. There was protests over the weekend. I don't know if they was in y'all town, but the No Kings movement. There were about 3,500 protests, about 8 million people. That's only roughly 2% of the population, I'm assuming. But it's clear that the majority of the United States is not in support of what's going on. They now, just because they didn't go and, riot or rally or whatever they wanted to do with the No Kings guys, I don't think that that's a good barometer of how America feels right now. If I see a poll saying 80% of America wants to be out of the war, 80% of America wants I think Trump's favor rating right now is like 70% right now. But just because there was only 2% at these No Kings protests, that's just not the way that they protest. You know what I mean? So protests don't always show like the sentiment of a country. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I agree with you. But
so I agree with you.
That wasn't that was never our argument. That wasn't our argument.
Let me finish, please.
But wait, because y'all are straw manning. You're straw manning though.
Let me finish, please.
Just hold on. Let him get it out.
Yeah. When we look at it, and I agree with you, and there's been decrease for support for the war, both in Israel and in America. When you realize what has changed, when people realize that now skin is a part of it. 2 million people have left Israel since Iran started bombing them. A population of 9 million people, 2 million people has so far run away from Israel. You can go and check out that numbers. And when they realized that they had no problem when they were bombing, when the Americans were bombing, the average Americans had no problem when they were throwing missiles at airplanes. But when they hear now that they're getting ready to put 20,000 blue-blooded Americans, and I'm not talking about the complexion of the Americans, or red-blooded Americans, whether they want to be black, white, Chinese, right, on the side. No, everybody is crying foul. That No King protest, if you look at it, that No King protest was primarily a homogeneous white protest. Black people weren't there. Most people have, if we look at the dynamics.
Hey, real quick. I was gonna say that to you, Stu B's, but I ain't want to get cussed out because did you see the white lady? Wait, did you see the white lady on CNN?
Yeah.
So the report. Wait, for the chat that don't know, this is important. Some things I be wanting to bring up, but I can't bring it up because I voted for the king, so it's kind of stupid me bringing this shit up. But I'm glad you brought it up so that I can piggyback on what you're saying. So a reporter was interviewing a white lady at the New York No Kings protest. Funny, this is the funniest shit I see in weeks. So the reporter says he was trying to make a racial comment.
Yeah.
He was making the comment of it's a funny thing. You don't see with all the trouble and people complaining in the world, you don't see any black people. It's not a lot of people of color at this particular protest. I have never seen a white lady put on her abolitionist coat so fast. She said, "Why would a black person come to this protest?" She said because they'll hear all of us yelling, cycle through the damn crowd, lock the people of color up, they'll get all these new charges, all this other shit. She said they're in danger at protests. We don't need them to support. It's time for white people to pick up the banner and run. And the only thing I could think of was Chef and Corey dumbasses, and I'll say that in love, because that white lady was literally sprinkling fucking freedom. And there was nothing that I could do about it. Then the reporter couldn't even fucking respond. So that was the one moment I could say, Chef and Corey, y'all right. That lady was sprinkling fucking freedom, bro. Because I've seen white people do that as bullshit.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. Like black folks done did enough.
But I never actually seen it with my own two eyes. I've never seen with my own 2 eyes, not virtue signaling,
and
not trying to get on camera.
Not only that, black folks don't have the standing in this society for their protest to even really mean anything.
Yeah, Robert Parrish in the chat. He said he's seen it. Robert Parrish said he saw it too. This shit crazy. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
This is what I'm going to say to you.
I want to say something.
Let me listen to
you. Let's still finish and go. I apologize.
I'm going to say to Brass. Until black people start protesting, because whether we like it or not, black people has always been the conscience of the United States. When a major issue come up, where they want to be Vietnam War, where we had those brothers in LA start up the Black Panther Party as part of the protest to them, until black people start participating, the issue is bullshit. That No King rally, black people is sitting back because we're the conscience have always been, well, not me, black Americans, FB has always been the conscience of the United States. And when they recognize that, listen, you still not having this king protest don't mean that you have enough skin in the game for us to participate. So until black Americans start participating, that No King's rally is of no more significance than that anti-Palestinian rally in Israel.
All right,
let's put them on the same thing. No, I finish.
Let you get it off. Go ahead, True.
Okay. All right, 2 things. First thing, the reason I keep saying what I'm hearing is a straw man, it's because I don't think Brass, or Kyle ever made the point in bringing those Israeli protests up in Israel to say that those protesters in Israel represent the thoughts of the majority of Israelis. I don't think none of us was making that point. I know for a fact I'm not making that point. The reason the protesters were brought up once again is because there was a claim made that Israelis were not protesting the Israeli government's actions in Gaza. That's why we showed the protest. So when I continue to hear people trying to frame this conversation as if somebody here was saying the majority of Israelis think like these protesters were showing, I feel like I'm being gaslit. Stop doing that. Secondly, I was asked to show a Reuters report of the Iranian government mowing down its nationals. I have it right here. I'd like to share my screen, please. Let me know when to share. Let me know if
the fact that you're still on that is like, what
no,
do
because
you?
I was made out to be I was called to bring
Go ahead,
something.
do you? But
No,
Like my thing. Wait,
by the
hold
way,
on. Let me be
True.
clear. Let me be
Somebody asked you
clear.
for a source.
Let me be
Somebody
clear.
asked you for a source for your information isn't somebody calling you a liar, bro.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. I'm not gonna say that he
That's
was
not what
calling me
that
a
is.
liar. That's not fair. I'm gonna take that back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Haskell. But what I am gonna say is I was requested to do something. So if nobody cares for me to fulfill that request anymore, I don't have to waste my time.
No, I wanted the information. Just put it in the chat so I can review it.
I could just present it now. So
go
everyone
ahead.
just
Go ahead.
All right. So this is from Reuters. This is March 30th. The headline: Fearing economic collapse after war, Iran cracks down on dissent. I'm going to go to the relevant part of the article to what Haskell asked. If you guys want to read the entire article, I will post it in the chat. No problem. But let me go to the relevant part that he requested. Okay. This is from the piece.
Where's the mowing down at? Where's the mowing down at? Find that part.
Did you just not hear me say I'm going to the relevant part to what you requested?
Okay.
Thank you. So this is the piece within the article titled "Post-War Economic Downturn Looms for Iran." Mohammed, 38, from Tehran, works for a trading company that has informed employees it may have to cut jobs. Our main business is with countries in the region, and obviously it's not clear whether that can continue after the war, he said, asking to remain anonymous for fear of reprisal. In January, Iran's ruling clerks and Revolutionary Guards, here you go, killed thousands as they quashed nationwide street protests sparked by anger at the weak economy. Since the war began, the only confirmed public sign of unrest was the cheering heard in Tehran when Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was declared dead. Security services have cracked down hard since. Iranian authorities continue to carry out waves of arrests targeting real and perceived dissidents, members of Iran's ethnic and religious minorities, including the Bahis and people who share reports of footage of strikes, said Louis C. of Human Rights Watch. The 3 rights activists inside Iran said pressure had been cranked up, particularly in regions with large populations of minority, this is for you, Chef, Kurds, Arabs, and Balochs, where much unrest has been focused before. And this is the last part I'm going to read. Securities forces have warned parents of suspected agitators that their children could be jailed or executed, and that relatives could also be punished, the activists said. Even Iranians living abroad have been warned they could have property confiscated if they express support for the U.S. or Israel, the Prosecutor General's office said on Monday. This is from Reuters. You asked
Mhm.
specifically from routers. I have other independent sources I could give you, but this is what
Go
you
ahead
asked
and
for from
go ahead and
routers.
get them. Go ahead and
No,
get
no,
them.
no.
Like
You
the
asked
main
for
reason
routers.
why. Yeah, that's fine. I'll let you go. Now let me speak, right? Asking somebody for a source is not just for, just for the source to be the source, right? It's so that the source could be interrogated. What I gathered from that Reuters article is that the evidence for these thousands of people being quote unquote mowed down is Muhammad, 38-year-old. That's pretty much it. So we pretty much got to take the word of Muhammad. Me personally, it's not strong enough, and it reads as propaganda. That's just my personal opinion. I haven't seen anything presented in the way of evidence. Some random guy named Muhammad, which is probably a billion Muhammads in that fucking region. Some 38-year-old dude named Muhammad saying, thousands of people have been killed. That doesn't qualify as evidence. But go ahead.
Yeah. So do you believe that when it comes to routers, that they only took his word of God? They didn't do any kind of like verifying of his claims. They just took his word as gospel and didn't try to confirm any of the things he's saying before they put it into paper and put it out for the world to take from a reputable source seen
It wouldn't be the
internationally.
first. It wouldn't be the first time that Reuters has done it. But
Okay,
here's
so
the point that I'm making ultimately. What I believe is irrelevant, right? The
yeah.
point that I'm making is getting a quote from someone named Muhammad, that doesn't qualify as evidence.
So
That's
if
my
I
only
so if I
point.
brought corroborating evidence, because this one was actually pretty conservative. There's other sources that are independent outside of routers that
The whole
are a lot.
30,000 thing. Yeah, they're saying 30,000. Yeah,
Some say
I've heard those
10,000, some
too.
say 30,000. Like that was a pretty
Mhm.
conservative number compared to other independent sources. So that's what I'm saying. Like we can't deny that. Are we denying that there has been state-sponsored killing in Iran?
Listen, what I've heard is a lot of the rabble rousing going on in that society has been engineered by the Israeli Mossad, and that the Mossad was running around arming people and trying to radicalize them against the government, and that if the people who were killed would be agents or people who have been deputized by Israeli intelligence. That's what I've heard and read from other sources, right? But a quote from a person who we don't know, we can't attribute, whether or not routers verified it or not, it doesn't qualify as evidence. I would need to see something. Who are these people who have been killed? Do they have identities for these people? What was the nature of where were they killed? If 30,000 people got mowed down, that's something that's going to be almost impossible, especially in the cell phone era, right? You're not going to tell me that 30,000 people got mowed down and no one at that protest who survived didn't pull out their cell phone, record anything,
So the
nothing.
30,000 isn't from one event. The 30,000. When
Whatever.
I've seen,
Whether it's
wait, well, hold on.
30,000,
When I've seen the number
10,000,
30,000, hold on. When I see the number 30,000, it's usually pointing from the death toll from March to December of last year. It's within that frame usually that
let's not. I don't want to
30,000
get
is
bogged
from.
down on the numbers. I'm sorry I even mentioned it. But whether it's
Yeah.
30,000, 10,000, 5,000, 300, right? 200, 100, right? In this cell phone era where cell phones are ubiquitous, even in a nation like Iran, for something to qualify as evidence, if 200 people got killed at one particular protest, mowed down is the language that was used. You're telling me that not one of these incidents is captured on cell phone?
The argument is a lot during a lot of these periods, Iran, as you know, has used like cyber. They've shut off people's internets and haven't allowed a lot of things to get out of the country. Like they've literally censored the internet throughout much of that period we're talking about. So
I mean, that's
part of the
probably true
conversation.
also, because I mean, states do that. But I mean, even with a state doing that, if these people were killing their citizens to that degree,
Yeah.
it's impossible to to block up all the holes. Like there's gonna be some sort of video evidence.
Well, that's where these
something.
That's where these reports are supposed
There
to be.
are, but there
that's-
are videos.
That's not.
We're so far away from the show topic, but there are videos. So the Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Haskell, the same people that we looked up for the Ibrahim when we were looking up that, they have videos. The number is closer to 7,000. Where the other 20,000+ comes from is from the doctors that are being interviewed by these areas, but they have by these human rights interest groups. The doctors are interviewing the victims too. So what they're saying is that the human rights groups are saying that it's closer to 6,000 or 7,000, but the doctors are trying to contradict the human rights organizations and saying that it's closer to
30,000.
Where's
30.
But there was a
Okay,
case. Hold on, there was a case. Look it up. There was a case named.
Where are the videos at though?
No, listen. There's a
You
case.
say there are videos.
Okay, I just said groups like Amnesty International and Human Rights have authenticated the clips. But hold on one second.
Mhm.
There's a case that sparked the whole thing. It's a guy named, I believe it's a lady. I don't know. It's Masa Amini. And because there's hospital footage of that. And then they were talking about the funerals turning into protests. So
There's
just
no
start with
there's no footage of Masa Amini also where there's no footage of her getting abused or any of that. Doesn't exist. If it does, I'd like to see it.
Well, I don't know. I don't even know. Well, you can Google it. You can do your algorithm.
No, I'm
But if
familiar
but I'm
with
saying-
I'm familiar with the claim regarding that young lady,
Right.
but that I'm not aware of any video. Now,
Well,
I could be
well,
wrong.
okay,
like,
so do you believe? Okay,
Yes.
so do you believe that Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International are just making it up that they've validated the videos?
yeah, I believe that a lot of those human rights watches.
No. I'm
media
saying
houses,
those two.
No, I'm answering the question. I don't know specifically about those two. I'd have to do research, right?
Okay.
But I know a lot of those human rights watches are really just fronts for intelligence agencies. You know, I know that for a fact. Even with that Ibrahim Traore stuff, the West and specifically the French DGSC, a lot of that is coming from the DGSC, which is the French's propaganda, not propaganda, their intelligence agents, right? So a lot of times it's hard to discern what's real information from propaganda.
I would agree with that. But here's the
You
thing:
know.
if you don't believe, but here's the thing, then Haskell, then what we run into is a devil's loop. If you don't believe in any of it, then asking for sources of any of it is not going to
That's just
change
like
your belief.
that's just like with the Palestinians, right? They say it's 70,000. I just looked it up, right? But I can go online and find video after video after video of Israeli soldiers literally executing Palestinians. No problem with finding that. Right? Right?
Okay. I don't know. I'm not agreeing to that. I don't know, but go ahead. You said it.
That's what I'm saying, but that's called evidence, not
A
Muhammad.
video on the internet called evidence in 2026.
Yes.
In 2000,
Yes.
in 2000, I
Yes.
just want to be clear.
Mhm.
2026,
Mhm.
simply a video on the internet will go against a human rights organizations and what they're saying.
It's more viable than what someone is saying.
Okay, then,
Now,
but then we can't.
there's
we'll
ways.
never agree.
There's ways to authenticate. There's ways to authenticate video to see if it's AI or whatever the case is. But I'm saying actual video of people being tortured or murdered trumps just someone saying something. Absolutely.
I don't know. I think the human rights. I hate to say this, like I can listen to you, but this is Haskell. This is where we run into in a lot of me and your arguments, and it's the strongest, probably the strongest definition of your character that I appreciate the most. You have a worldview, and your worldview is not a closed-minded worldview. I won't label it as that, but you have a strong worldview about how the way things are. When people present things that go against that worldview, until it's incontrovertible, you will stick to that worldview, and there's no issue with that. But the only challenge in talking to you is that once you are dug in on your worldview, you can say things to me like I saw a video, and I've seen numerous videos, and I gotta accept that
You don't have to
change my
accept
no
it.
no no
You
no
could
no
call.
I-
You
no
don't. You could.
no
You
no.
could
I'm
call
not
me out,
saying
and I can
accept
go
it.
and
No,
get the
I'm not.
evidence.
No. I'm not saying it to accept it to change my worldview. I got to accept it as like a source. But I can say that that human rights organizations, hospitals have gauged these numbers over time, and you'll just tell me it was a fucking front for a fucking
Yeah, but
intelligence
this is
agency, and just
but
throw
again,
my
that's
shit all out
but
the window.
again, no. Listen, in the case of the 70,000 plus Palestinians, right?
Yeah.
They're human rights organizations that they're the ones who put it out in the hospitals and all of that, right? So that's sourced by those groups, those organizations also. But what I'm saying is, in that instance, we have corroborative, actual material evidence to back up what these human rights organizations and hospitals, etc., are saying, right? And that's what I'm holding the other side to the same standard. If there were people being mowed down in protests, right? And Mohammed, 38-year-old Mohammed, whoever he is saying that thousands were killed or whatever, where is the corroborative evidence? I think that's perfectly fair. You
The
have it
human
on one
rights.
side.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
answer. The groups like Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch and the United Nations, they use a layered verification system. It's a name by name verification. They try to build a list of actual people based on name, age, location, date of death. Then they go to family members, friends, and local witnesses. That's why their numbers are usually lower but more reliable, because they only count people that they can confirm. So when they're doing this, they're going name by name and interviewing families and locations. So that's why you'll get a hospital saying 20-something thousand versus the UN Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International being with high numbers. So what they'll do is they analyze clips like you do. They match buildings with geolocation, match times of days, confirm that. They call it open source intelligence. The thing is, the hospitals go behind them quietly and they report how many bodies they've received and how many bodies got gunshot.
Hospitals don't receive dead bodies in mass.
I don't know. It says doctors. You're right. No, listen. It says medical. I'm reading. It says medical and hospital leaks. Doctors quietly report gunshot wounds, numbers of bodies received. So it says sometimes.
If you said 20,000 gunshot wounds, I believe you.
Stu. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I could agree with that. Sometimes what happens is hospital records leak on their side, or morgue workers speak anonymously. So when a reporter is getting their information from like the leaks of the records and the morgue workers, the numbers are very high. But when you get these human rights organizations, that's what they go around the world to do. Remember we had with Ibrahim, where we was trying to figure out, are these people soldiers? That when we talking about the babies with Kyle that he didn't give a fuck about. When we was saying, how do we know if the kids were soldiers or if they weren't? The only thing I could say on my side was they weren't killing. These ain't the soldiers. They had a separate, what's the name for the kids that were dying in war versus the ones where they were just knocking on the door and just killing the whole family.
Away from everybody.
Yeah, that shit is made up, bro.
Yeah,
The
see,
whole
like I said, we're back at the same point where you don't. Y'all need, the funny thing with y'all, bro.
Not to you, not with you.
For everything. But then when a motherfucker actually give you a source they give you the system, they give you how they do it, it's even lower than the numbers that are reported. Your only retort to throw it out is it's made up.
All right.
Well, no, I didn't say the whole thing was made up. This idea that hold on real quick, Stu. The only thing I objected to was this notion that the Burkinabe officials were just on a whim, just running around, kicking down doors and just wiping out families, for some recreational shit. That part is made up.
All right. I
know what propaganda looks like, right? Yeah. Just like in the Gulf War, when that little girl testified in front of Congress that the Iraqi soldiers came into a room, into a hospital, and were taking babies out of incubators and throwing them on the floor, right? Without me even needed to confirm anything, I just knew that shit was bullshit. It later came out that she was related to some government official and it was all bullshit. But I can smell bullshit, dog.
Okay.
I can smell it. This
I can smell
just
bullshit
kicking down
too.
doors and just wiping out families. That shit is made up, man.
Yeah,
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. The 165 girls who were killed, we saw their graves. Satellite images show their graves. When you kill 30,000 people, especially in a short portion of time like that, who weren't
Go
old,
with the
who
lower
were
number.
young
Go with the
people.
lower number, Stoopies. Go with the lower number. Because they're gonna say 30,000 is, is not verified.
Right.
Go with the 10,000 or the whatever they were.
When we look at logistic and supply chain, yeah, especially in the city. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, they're telling you
I'll
to
talk
calm
to you tomorrow.
down. They're telling you to calm
Yeah.
down. They're telling you chill out. But we're so far away from the title. We're like, I don't even know. We've been talking about protesters and shit for an hour. Do countries have the right to exist? Does Israel have the right to exist? Now, I agree with Chef, not at the expense of other people. But then there's another point brought up. What countries exist not at the expense of other people? So now, I think that's
question. Along with that point,
That's why I said
Stoopies, along with that point, I want to add a second question to that point. What if the answer is not a two-state solution, right? If we believe Palestine should exist as a state, right? Would the solution for you guys look like eliminating the state of Israel? What would it look like in your scenario?
No, Chef.
Hold on, and you're not advocating for Israel, right?
No.
Just to be clear.
Wait, it's interesting.
Let me answer that question.
Wait, hey,
Please,
True.
let me answer that question.
Hold on,
Yeah.
Stu. Goddamn. The chef made a point.
Yeah.
Before, if these motherfuckers are as brutal and as evil as what they are doing, Chef would actually be advocating for.
I agree with him. I agree with him. They should not be able to exist. They should not be able to exist.
I'm gonna let them go.
They should not be.
Hey, no, fuck that. No, stop. Hey, no, fuck
off.
that. We live on Carnivorous Podcast. The one nigga that don't talk and do Jewish papers all day could be allowed to cut one of y'all niggas off. Let him finish his fucking statement. Go ahead, sir. Yeah, we live on his channel and he can't talk.
I'm so crazy. I'm saying that Jews have always lived in an area called Palestine. They've always been there. They've been there before the state of Israel existed. These are Jewish people. The people that created the state of Israel come from Europe. That is a colonial, that is a colonized state that took over people's land. No, they don't have a right to exist in my book like people keep saying. But Jews always lived in Palestine. Right alongside the Christians, the Muslims, they always been there. Tell me when they haven't always been there. These people, Netanyahu and them people come from Europe. They Europeans. That's a colony state. No, they don't have a right to do that. I don't agree that they have a right to be there like that. But Jews always existed in Palestine. Yes, they can be there. But the state, no, that's too problematic. I'm going back on mute.
Thank you. Damn, nigga
I
came.
agree with Chef totally. Let
Wait,
me say this.
but the question, Chef, was, should they be rid of, though? That was the question. That's what he said. He said,
yes, that state of Israel should be dissolved.
Okay.
Now, if Jews, the same way Jews found the right to exist in Palestine for 1,500 years without the state of Israel being there, they could do it again. If what's the issue?
I'll tell you the issue. I'll tell you the issue. Did not exist in a state called Palestine. Palestine was not a state. Palestine is still not a state.
I'm saying when I say
Palestine-
Palestine, I'm not speaking of a state, and you know what I'm saying. I'm saying it's that region, that area was called Palestine, the area that they're fighting over. Whether it was a state or not, it was called Palestine, Syria, Palestinia. What part don't you understand?
Oh, I understand. I also understand
Oh,
that depending on who was occupying it, that strip in the Levant had many names, and some of the names predate Palestine.
You're making this
Right?
about
You're
semantics.
right.
So wait.
You're right.
If we're talking history and facts, that's just a factual statement. Now, if we're talking about the territory we call Palestine today and the borders we know as Palestine today, that was created and decided at the end of World War I by a British mandate. The same way a British mandate led to the formation of Israel at the end of World War II, that land called Palestine, that territory called Palestine today, with the borders it has today, that came to pass due to a British mandate at the end of World War I. So the same forces, the same European forces you're saying created Israel at the end of World War II are responsible for the land we know as
So how does
Palestine
that-
having
how
the
does that
borders it
counteract
has.
his point, though? So okay, so fine. Let them reorder themselves into whatever it was before the colonization, whether Israel or Palestine or whatever new thing they come up with. Let's get rid of the state of Israel. It still
Okay.
doesn't counter his argument. And you are fighting for Israel. I don't care what you say.
No, I'm just trying to be historically accurate. That's all. And I don't like that I
No,
have to somehow be
you
fighting for
arguing-
Israel
you're
by just trying to be
arguing
accurate in
you're
what we're saying.
arguing- No, what you're
Like,
doing
I-
is
I don't
arguing
get that.
semantics. What you're
No,
doing
it's
is
not
arguing
semantics. It's
semantics,
accuracy.
right? Basic point is, whatever it was called or however they ordered themselves politically, go ahead and figure it out. Dissolve the state of Israel and then figure that shit out.
So
it.
I'm just gonna deal with what you're saying and not what I think you're trying to say, like people are doing to me. So when we get rid of the state of Israel, right? Is this land we know as Palestine and Israel today? Is it just going to be a stateless land, or are you suggesting when we get rid of the state of Israel that it all becomes a state of Palestine? So you have two options. Wait. You have two options when you get rid of Israel as a state. Option number one, the entire
No,
land.
you
go
have-
back to
Yo,
Europe.
holy shit! Holy
Let me
shit!
answer the
Go back
question.
to Europe.
Holy shit!
Let me
Can
answer that question.
I please present the argument? So when you get rid of Israel, you have two options. Option one, the entire land is stateless, or option two, the entire land is now the state of Palestine. Which one are you guys suggesting?
Option 3. Let me answer the question. Call
Go
the
ahead.
land anything you want to call it, but allow the people in the land to govern equally. Everybody, one man, one vote. So it don't matter what you are religiously, the land can name anything. The name of the land don't matter.
Governed
But
without a
govern
state?
supposed governance.
Governed without a state?
Hold on. I'm
Governed without a
saying the
state?
name of the land. I'm
Governed
saying,
without a
listen
state.
carefully. Call the land anything you want to call it. Call it Turtle Land. Call it
Okay.
United States of America. But the people in the land should be allowed to govern how they
Okay,
choose,
and you
where
need a
everybody
state
has
to
a
govern,
vote.
right?
One
Do
man,
you need a
one
state to
vote.
govern?
Yes. So call the
Okay,
state
so where
anything there. Establish the state.
so what does that state look like?
That's not for us to know.
America.
First of all,
Yeah,
What America look like?
Listen.
yes, this is part of the conversation.
listen.
You
listen.
guys have to.
No,
we have to
it's
talk about
not.
what
No,
comes
it's not.
after.
No, it's
want
not.
us
Oh
to
my
figure out
God,
the whole
bro.
Middle East. You want us to figure out the whole Middle East when we're making
No,
the
just this
rational
land we're talking
argument.
about.
No, we're making a rational argument that them being there as a European colony is
Settler
creating
colony.
a problem there. What part? That they are the issue.
Palestine is a European colony.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's
I'm
not.
done. I'm done.
But hold on. What we call Palestine today, with the borders it has, was determined at the end of World War I by a British
cool.
mandate.
So cool. Blow it all up and start
Nigeria
over.
is a
How about
European
that?
colony.
No. Don't play his game. Let's play his game. Get rid of all of it and start over. Are you good with that?
Okay. So when we start over, I'm asking, do we leave the territory?
No, the Europeans go back to Europe.
Hold
the
on.
Europeans go back to Europe. You get that?
Hold on. But listen.
If you start
wait.
Europeans go back to Europe.
Listen.
So
So
those
the people,
people, they figure it out for themselves.
listen. The people. There's people there.
Yeah,
You
that's
guys
for
said
them
we
to
have to.
figure out. True. That's not for us to figure out.
There's
We're
people
saying the
there.
state
And you
of
guys
Israel.
earlier were saying.
The
You
topic
guys.
is
You
does
guys.
the state of Israel deserve to exist? Our position is no, because of all the bullshit they've been having going on.
But this
Now,
is in contradiction to what.
Insofar as what goes on after that, or what new form of government or system, that's for them people to figure out. We're just only commenting to whether Israel deserves to exist or not. Nothing after that.
All of what comes after plays a role in what we're talking about. So what I'm saying is, you guys just.
We don't care. We don't care.
No, it doesn't.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's another.
cool.
You want to have a whole different. You want to have a whole different conversation. We sticking to the topic. Does Israel
sticking to
deserve
the
to
topic.
exist?
I heard certain
What
people in
happens
this room.
after Israel is dissolved? That's not what the show is about. That's not part of the topic.
Hold on. What he's saying is, based off your answer of the topic, he's asking, it's kind of like, these are the ramifications. So he's trying to figure out, okay, cool, this is where y'all stand. Now what? So it is to the topic, bro.
So we adding that to the topic then.
No,
so we got to figure out. We got to figure out.
No,
the
he ain't
politics
saying
of that
you
region.
got to. Y'all don't have to answer his question. He asked a question to the panel.
Right.
Why y'all complaining if y'all don't?
We
if you
already
don't want to
answered
answer
this
the
question,
question,
but
don't answer.
but he's still pushing the line though, right? The topic is, does Israel deserve to exist? Chef so succinctly came through, dropped the bomb. No, they shouldn't. They on bullshit. Go back to Europe, right? He now follows that up with, okay, what after that? The answer is, we don't know. Let them people figure it out. We answered his question. But he wants to
and Haskell. It's a bunch of people here. Haskell?
Yeah.
They all said the same thing.
If y'all standing on y'all square, that's cool.
Chef and Stupi said the same thing. That's for them people to figure out.
Okay, y'all all on it. Okay, y'all three niggas said let them figure it out. Now let Truist talk.
Yeah, I just want to say
that's like me saying. Right? The
you can't let it go.
The apartheid state in South America, in South Africa, didn't deserve to exist. Dissolve it, get rid of it, right? And then, well, what we gonna do after that? I don't fucking know. I'm not from South Africa. I don't know none of that Bantu Zulu shit. They'll figure that part out. I know that evil ass apartheid shit. That shit need to go. That's what I know. I don't need to figure out all that other shit.
So
Fuck
if we
here.
heard
That's
your
false,
point, if we
that's
heard
a false dichotomy that nigga setting up.
Right. You know what's a false dichotomy? Hold on.
Israel.
You know what's a false dichotomy? You telling me that you done told us your point, Chef point, and Stu P's point. Now
but
you
they said the same
wait
thing.
A second.
They said
now
the
you
same
saying
thing,
stay
bro.
on the topic, and now you talking about Ethiopia. We get it, bro. I know
No,
where
I said
you
South-
stand.
I said South
I know where
Africa, not
I know where
Ethiopia.
Chef stand. I know where Stu P stand. Now let him talk though. Like it's still y'all point ain't gotta change. Y'all don't even gotta answer him.
No, but he gonna keep arguing about the same shit. We done. It's been asked.
I've actually been moving the conversation.
Hold on, Truist. Chef literally said, "Let him argue with himself." You want to argue with him? Just let him talk. I get it. We got your point. If you don't got nothing else on this particular thing he's saying, then bring up another topic. I'll change the title. It's easy in YouTube, and we could talk about that. But let him finish. That still ain't gonna determine whether he could talk.
All right.
Let True go. Let True go, Stupi. Let True go.
Here's what I'm trying to say.
No, let him go, Stupi. Stupi's let him go. Let him go.
Shout out to Super Wavy in the chat. I wish you much success. Go ahead.
Here's what I'm saying. Earlier in this conversation, the point being made was that people have rights. People deserve to exist. States don't deserve to exist. We're saying Jewish people. That some of these people that are saying that these people got to go back to Europe now, an hour ago, was saying that these people had a right to exist, but they didn't have a right to have a state. Some of these people that are now saying in this conversation, these people got to go back to Europe, was just saying 10, 20 minutes ago that these people always lived in the land that we call Palestine in peace. But now these people got to go back to Europe. So I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so who are the people that have to go back to Europe? Who are those people?
The Europeans.
What European
you
is in
know-
Israel? Who are you calling the European in Israel?
The niggas with a name like Milicevic, like Netanyahu, his real name, Milicevic or whatever.
But
That
y'all
motherfucker's
just said they
European.
were
Get him
always in
up outta here.
Palestine.
Yeah, you can't.
You
can't have
the
it.
Jews were. You don't listen to
Man,
True.
this
You
is
don't
what I'm
have True.
saying.
True.
Y'all not
True.
clear.
You
Y'all are
can't
not
even help
consistent.
yourself.
You guys
Hey,
are not
Brad,
consistent.
you're not listening. You're not listening.
Y'all are just not consistent.
You're not listening.
Y'all
Chef
gotta
said that.
pick an argument.
Hold on,
Pick an
True.
argument.
No, but you're misconstruing the argument though. He said that there's always been Jewish people who have lived in the area. That doesn't mean that everyone who lives there is Jewish. You have people that came from Europe. Why is that confusing you?
Who are the
If your
fucking
name was
people?
Milosevic, if your name was Milosevic, if your name got an itch in it, you not from there. How about that?
So you're going based off of last name to determine
Yeah,
who's
let's do that.
European and not.
If your name,
That's your standard.
if your name ends in an itch,
I guess I'm gonna have to go back to fucking
if your
Ireland.
family
'Cause I
name
got an
ends in an
Irish last
itch,
name.
you not from there.
If the fucking standard is your last name, I guess I gotta go back
Hey,
to
Haskell,
fucking
are you
Europe.
being
too.
are you being serious right now, Haskell?
No, I'm being kind of tongue in cheek.
Okay, all right.
Exactly. Like, bro, I'm not, like,
Don't say that like that is
The point is,
a strong stance to make.
the point
God
is,
damn.
the point is, right, that he's saying, oh, well, who are the Jews? Well, there were Jews who were there before the people, the Ashkenazi came
and
from
how
Europe.
do you determine that?
Like, I don't, probably genealogy, I'm sure genetic. DNA. I don't know. That's
DNA.
above my pay
Are you
grade.
just
But it
gonna
doesn't.
say, "Oh, you got this switch at the end of your last name," or "Oh no, you're a little too pale"? Like, how do you determine?
I don't know
which
how
of
they
the
would
Jew-
do that. Because of
But
course,
you
people-
have to think about these things.
Hold
when
on,
you're
hold on,
talking
hold on.
about wait,
Because there are people-
no.
there are people who have
Because you guys are
who have
discussing.
intermixed
You
and
guys are
stuff like that.
discussing. You guys are just presenting.
But that's why.
You're
That's why you
presenting.
don't get led down rabbit holes.
But
We're talking
Haskell,
about
you
the conversation is about
no,
the state.
y'all
about
are
dissolving the
presenting
state,
a
right?
forced. You guys are presenting a forced exodus of millions of fucking people currently living there, and I'm saying, how do you determine who the fuck you're gonna force out of there?
The
Yeah, I don't know
Palestinians
how.
are.
Yeah, I don't know how that would be determined.
That is crazy.
I don't know because of course you
Nah,
have
this
intermix.
is-
You've had intermixing and stuff that's occurred over the last 80 years or so.
So how do you
Stuff like that.
determine who the hell you're
Could
gonna?
get, things like that could get convoluted, right? But what we can say is the state of Israel, no, it doesn't deserve to exist. Now, you want to have some, you want to have other conversations. To me, those are additional conversations. They're separate conversations.
But you brought them up in the middle of this one.
No, we
Hey,
didn't.
can I
You
ask
brought that
you
up.
a simple question, Haskell?
You brought that up, and we entertained.
No,
it.
it's
Don't do that.
it's to the point. And Truist, you could take this if you pause if you want to move on. What do you got against Israel? What is your personal?
Racist.
No, your name ain't Haskell. I'm gonna ask you in a second, Chef. I'm gonna ask you in 1 second, Chef. This is a question to the panel. Is right. Give it a.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, because somebody in the chat just put the Jew phobia is real. Super Wavy just says send their ass back to Poland. So my question is this: you personally, based off what you know, what is your issue? Not with Jews. What is your? Well, I guess I can't really
With the
say
state of Israel.
Yeah. What is your issue with the state of Israel? Yours.
Well,
based
for
off
one,
what
it
you
was
know.
a settler colony established by the British Empire. That's one.
Okay.
They're genocidal maniacs. That's two.
Okay.
I think that's enough.
Okay.
Is modern day Palestine a settler colony by the British Empire?
Bastards.
He asked me about Israel.
Is that the end of your argument, Chef? The racist bastards. That's at the end. Or you gonna put something with that? Or they just
No, I'm
racist?
cool, right? I'm cool.
Or you just cool with racist bastards? So I would ask Stu, but we're gonna be here for fucking 10 years. Is fucking innocent. But I know he don't like him. It's funny, Cuban ain't never here for the fucking conversation like this. We know he hates him the most.
You realize the slide that was just given a while. I'm not giving what to do. I said, go mute, unmute, shut your mouth, I shut my mouth, and then somebody still started because I don't agree with the colonizers.
No,
Right?
I don't
And then
think
somebody
that
will
was a
say
fight.
that
It was a
if people
joke.
was in the land before the colonizers came there.
Hold on, are you gonna answer that? Wait.
I know.
That was a joke. I wasn't trying to slight you. If I was trying to slight you, I'd have just did it. I'm not trying to slight you. That was just a joke. So what is
I know
your
it's a
actual
joke.
issue? What is
I'm
your
not attentive.
issue with Israel? What's your actual issue with Israel?
Because those people who farm the country disrespected. Those people who farm the country disrespect the people who were in there. Just like I have a problem with
Who did they disrespect?
Anglo-Saxons who disrespect the Native Americans.
Who did they disrespect?
The Aboriginal people to the land. The people who was in the land before. The God of the religion.
So who? But put a name to it because everybody don't know. Put a name to it.
Hey. What we call him to do?
Palestinians.
What we call him to do?
Okay, yeah.
What we call him to
answer a simple question, but okay. So now my question is
because we're not.
Go ahead.
You look like you're carrying water now. You sound like you're carrying water now. Choo choo. I want to see a bucket. You sound like you're carrying water. Yeah.
Yeah, can we stop? Can we stop with the
no carrying water.
Nah, we can't stop because that's what you're doing.
Shit.
We gotta call a spade a spade. That's what you're doing.
I think we have a little more intelligence than to
nah, it ain't got nothing to do with it. What you do? You know what it is? You know what it is? I got intelligence to know.
Whoa.
I got enough intelligence to know when somebody's trying to hide behind intellectualism when they are in fact carrying water.
Where's the carrying water? What is this?
And we're gonna call it out.
It's a cognitive and perceptive issue with you guys there.
Call it whatever you want.
Yeah. So
what is hey Haskell, hold on. What is the carrying water shit? What are you talking about?
That's just like basically you cheerleading, you know, you rooting for your little team or whatever the case might be.
No,
that's just like in South Africa right now, right?
Oh God.
With them trying to get the land back, right? And you got people saying, oh, the South African Boers, the farmers, they're getting their lands dispossessed and you know, it's not right and all of that. If you saying shit like that, you carrying water for the Boers and for the Dutch.
But
that's what you're doing.
So by asking a question on somebody's stance and wanting to at least be clear, how's that carrying water?
Yeah, depending on because the question is framing it in such a way to where you advocating, but you trying to subterfuge that advocacy.
You nigga, yeah, I will say okay, that's cool. So now I'm clear. I think y'all Jewphobia is fucking real. I'm just asking a question to move the show along.
There you go.
If you wanna moderate, go ahead, bro. But I'm trying to move it away from talking about Reuters and fucking pictures of protests and shit. I'm trying to move it to something just to see what is your actual issue. But if y'all doing the carrying water for master shit, I don't know why y'all think that leads to a constructive conversation. It just never does. If your fallback is always coon or some shit like that, that shit is kind of like coming from a Jamaican. It's kind of disappointing.
Hey, I don't know what to call it.
No, I'm just saying. The Jamaicans in this motherfucker say coon more than any white person I've ever heard online, bro. What is your actual issue with black people?
If you have another adjective,
fuck all that.
If you have another adjective,
okay, you have an
adjective for Clarence Thomas?
You asked for it, so now I'm here. You Jamaican motherfuckers, say the word coon. I want that shit to be heard. You niggas from Jamaica will retreat to coon faster than white people do. What is y'all fucking issue with Black Americans talking? Anytime they talk and disagree with you, and we can't reach a point, we can't just agree to not disagree. I gotta be a coon. We don't call you motherfuckers coconut. The chat is killing you coconut motherfuckers. Coconut consciousness. They saying all this wild ass racist shit, and we ain't repeating none of it. But you two motherfuckers think y'all can call people coons all goddamn day. I don't really give a fuck about Zion, Jew. I don't give a fuck about none of this. I give a fuck about running a show.
But you sounded like you was carrying water.
Okay,
you still sounded like you was carrying water.
Okay,
no incident. I apologize if I sounded like
I don't give a
water.
fuck what you apologize about right now. What I'm saying to you two motherfuckers is I don't know what y'all thing is with black people, bro, but y'all tend to use coon for arguments more than white people that y'all hate do, bro. You two niggas got a sickness with this coon shit.
Who got called the coon?
This is that kid. When Kyle started that carrying, now I'm starting to realize, Chef, that carrying water shit is carrying water for massa. That's that shit they said to Kyle the other day. When Kyle was talking about the fucking data centers and the this, that, and he worked for the water, he was carrying water for massa. That's that coon shit. Y'all niggas is late. That's a lazy argument. It's lazy to even argue that way. If that's gonna be your retort to everything, why the fuck is y'all in here? Because you don't have to be here. Matter of fact, some of you niggas leave and come back just so you can say coon again. We don't call y'all coconuts and wild ass Jamaicans and shit. When niggas say Jamaica was a shithole, this whole motherfucking chat cussed Thunder out.
Well, understand it.
So it ain't about no Caribbean and FBA. All that little getting on the soapbox shit, I don't give a fuck about it, bro. Like, what word am I gonna use for a nigga like Clarence Thomas other than a motherfucking coon?
Ain't no Clarence Thomas.
That's what the nigga is, dog.
Sure, yes, ain't no fucking Clarence Thomas.
This nigga's worse than fucking Clarence Thomas. That nigga Thunder's worse than fucking Clarence Thomas.
For what he's saying, he's Clarence Thomas.
He's a motherfucking coon. Thunder is a dyed-in-the-wool coon, and I'm not gonna stop saying it. And the nigga on here, he carrying water for Israel. Everything ain't got to be intellectual, dog. If I could call a spade, right? If people disagree with that or they feel a kind of way, they could express themselves too. But I'm not gonna redact my vocabulary to make a nigga feel comfortable because he hide intellectualism.
Cool. Let me just say this. So if y'all feel like my argumentation and any pushback to some of the shit y'all saying is carrying water, just let me know that for the beginning now, and I'm not gonna have a conversation with a nigga that feel like I'm carrying water.
No, but you've always been a carrying water nigga.
I'm good. I'm good off the conversation. I'm good. Y'all got it.
And I told you that like 2 weeks ago.
At that point. That's cool.
Yeah.
I told you that like 2 weeks ago when we was talking about that. I forgot the other topic we was talking about. I said, yeah, you shuffling, dog. That is what it is.
Shuffling is different than carrying water.
Same shit.
Nah, it's not the same shit.
They're not talking about you shuffling your thought. They're talking about you. That's another coon statement. A motherfucking like the shoe.
Dancing for myself.
It's a soft shoe. Soft shoe. Yeah. All right, y'all.
I mean, yeah. Nah, there's no point in having an intellectual conversation. I'm gonna just be met with y'all got it. Y'all got it.
We can't have one. We can't have one video because you got.
It's cool to argue, but y'all niggas
water carrying
shit is corny as fuck. It's corny. It ain't even creative. It's just like you're just doing it. You're just doing it just to do it, and you think it's funny.
No, we're not.
I'll tell you what it really is. It's a hostile escape.
I'm not doing it.
It's a hostile escape.
That shit ain't fun. It ain't even a hostile. It ain't even a hostile escape. It's derogatory as fuck coming from two Jamaicans. constantly.
I don't know what the Jamaican thing got to do with anything.
Because none of us say this shit except you two.
If you a coon, you a coon, bruh.
Nah, but it's only two.
Oh, sorry.
The reason
And if
why I
you
keep
carry water,
bringing
you
up,
carry
I didn't
water.
get that
but the
word from
reason
Jamaica.
why I
I
keep
got that
bringing
word
up
from Black
Jamaicans,
Americans.
the
I
reason
learned
why
that
I
word
keep
from
bringing,
Black Americans.
the reason why
I
I
didn't
keep
get that
bringing
word
up,
from
the
Jamaica.
reason why I keep bringing up two Jamaicans is because it's the two Jamaicans in the Discord called the black
Oh,
men in this.
so what you saying? So what you saying? We can't criticize blackness? Is that what you imply? No. Is that what you imply?
What he's saying, I think what he's saying is, as much as I've had disagreements.
No, wait.
What
We're
you imply?
trying to
No.
get somewhere.
No.
We're still trying to get
Just
somewhere.
like
That's
just
what you
like
imply.
when another Jamaican.
Hey, Haskell,
another-
you just making it worse. I gotta just hold on, Haskell. Humble out. 2 P's. I'm not saying you can't critique. I'm saying I know you two motherfuckers is intelligent enough to not have to make every critique when y'all get to a convergent point. A nigga carrying water and soft shoeing, bro. That's all I'm saying. I don't think you need to. I don't think it needs to end every time y'all talk to Truist or Thunder. It ends with some point. They coons. I'm saying
Brad,
but they are.
when the Caribbean dude, Anathema, right? He's from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
When he got on this panel and said that crazy stupid shit he said about, oh, if I was back in the slavery days, I'd be
we called him out
selling shackles. That motherfucker is a Caribbean, a coconut coon. Okay? So I don't give a fuck where a nigga come from, bruh. I'm looking at observed behavior, bruh. If you acting like that, that's what you is, dog. Simple as that.
Yeah, no.
Listen, hey, I'm gonna say this. I'd rather be carrying water than be a nigga that thinks trannies look better than black women. And I'm gonna just leave it there.
Oh God.
Guess what? You can throw your gun now. Because I didn't say that. And that don't matter to me. If you think you're hurting me, you know that's stupid. But guess what?
Back to Israel. Let's go back to Israel.
Given the option.
What the
and
fuck?
being a black
Bro, hey, it was a good show. It was a good show,
Yeah.
man. I don't know how we.
Thanks for coming out. God bless.
Yeah,
And I'm in the middle
thank
of
y'all for
100
coming out. At
And
this
that's all.
point, it's just gonna be contentious. And then y'all don't need to see this. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless. Good night.
Um,
Damn.